Hello everyone and welcome back to the Movie Poster Show. Today it is up to you to decide who the figure is in this poster we're going to take a look at. This is the Polish poster for the Godfather Part II. Okay, everyone, we are back with another Polish movie poster. And if you're starting to notice a pattern here, it is that I love Polish movie posters. Some of the coolest posters ever made to advertise movies come from Poland. And this one right here for Godfather 2 is one of them. Let's look at the details. This is for the movie Godfather Part II. And we've got two artists on this poster, Andrzej Klimowski and Danuta Szejbal. The size is approximately 22 by 32 inches, and this comes to us from Poland. Now, this is a collage style poster, and it has a very simple yet strange image. In the center of the poster, we can see this ghostly image of a seated figure with their legs crossed, arms at their side, and dressed in this three-piece pinstripe suit. And the figure is centered in the middle of this ornate gold frame. The picture frame is really the only source of color in the entire poster, with the exception of the white and gray tones from the seated figure. And the frame is not symmetrical either. If you were to take the frame and fold it in half, the two sides would not match up with each other. I'm guessing this poster was made using a collage style approach, with the frame most likely being cut out by hand, then placed over the top of the image of the seated figure. The title and the credit typography would have been added last. After all, this was made in 1976, and the artist wouldn't have had tools like Photoshop, making it more likely that it would have all been done by hand. If my theory is correct that this is a collage style composition, you can see the rough cuts of the hand similar to the frame. And you may also notice the halftone appearance in the hands, which uses dots to add tone and shading to the poster elements. Now, I've had debate with some people on this, and I personally don't think that this looks like the face of Michael Corleone. There's not a whole lot of details that you can go by, really just the bottom lip and the nose. The pose of this person is very much a Michael Corleone pose. We see him seated this way several times throughout the Godfather saga. So who is it really? I don't know. I actually think it looks like Luca Brasi, the hitman from Godfather Part I, but he wasn't even in Godfather Part II. So you tell me, who do you think it is? We can't make out exactly who the figure is because the top right-hand side of the face just sort of disappears. And as you move across the face from left to right, the details get harder and harder to make out, and eventually they are completely gone. To me, it looks like it could be a cloud of smoke that conceals the face, but other times I look at it and it just seems like it evaporates into nothing. In the background behind the figure's head, there are shapes that you can see, but it's almost impossible to make out what they are. It may be a very high-backed, fancy chair that the figure is sitting in. Not really sure. And the way that this man is posed sitting down makes me think he's definitely sitting in some sort of chair. The man's arms and hands appear to be stretched out, laying on what would be the armrests of the chair, even though we don't see any armrests. And where his hands cross over the frame, the hands, just like the head, appear to be invisible. There are no skin tones in the hands. Instead, we see the patterns of the frame here. And the hands change the color of the picture frame to a black and white color. And this person's arms and hands are actually emerging from out of the frame itself. So the right hand appears to be holding a cigar, which again makes me question whether or not this is Michael Corleone seated here, because Michael Corleone didn't smoke cigars, he smoked cigarettes. So this left hand is really bizarre, I think. At first glance, nothing seems out of place, but if you look at the way that the ring finger is posed pointing down, it's a very strange pose, and it's a way you wouldn't unconsciously hold your hand like this. So next time you're sitting in a chair relaxing, just try to hold your hand like that. It actually takes some effort to do, And yeah, I think it's a strange way to pose that hand. Having the person sitting with the legs crossed and the knee out front and closest to the viewer, and just the way the person is sitting, it almost makes you feel as if this person is interrogating you. This person has some questions, and you better have the right answers. Now let's take a look at the pinstripe suit. The figure is totally decked out in this suit, and the jacket has these big, wide lapels, and we can't forget those classic pinstripes. The pinstripe suit is not faded out like the head of the figure. You do lose some of the details on the right shoulder, and that is because the main light source comes from directly above that shoulder, and the colors are all washed out right here. And you get a lot of shadows created by the folds in the suit from that light source directly above. So the bottom of the frame is essentially missing. There's a big section that's just cut out completely, and I wonder if there's actually a reason for this, or is this just a design choice? Either way, it makes it more interesting to look at. And I love these old ornate gold leaf picture frames. Always awesome to come across one at a thrift store or an antique shop, and the fact that they use one in this poster, really cool. The main stars of the movie are listed on the top left and top right hand corners of the poster, with the main title right in the top center. And this font for the titles is very close to the font that was used in the US Godfather posters, but it's not exactly the same. It's slightly different. And the 2 in Godfather 2 is in black, and it just happens to land right in the middle of the forehead of the seated figure. Across the very bottom of the poster, you have the director and the production companies. In the bottom right-hand corner, you can see the artist's signatures and a date of 1976. And The Godfather 2 was released in America in 1974, but didn't come out in Poland until 1976. And this ZRF logo, I think that's the company that handled the distribution to theaters in Poland, but I'm not sure. If you know, let me know in the comments. Now, I really like this poster. I think it's a great poster, and I do think it matches the mood of the movie really well. The image of this person is menacing, mysterious, and somber all at the same time, much like the character of Michael Corleone, who starts out as this promising young man, a war hero who wants nothing to do with his family's business, and we get to see him end up as this ruthless crime boss who orders the death of his own brother at one point. And the whole time, he seemingly gets no joy out of any of it. And I do think this poster is the perfect image to use to advertise for The Godfather Part II. Okay, everyone, that does it for this show, The Ghost of Godfather 2. What a cool poster, and I think it's up to you to decide who you think it is sitting in that chair. And on the next episode, we're going to take a look at the greatest movie poster of all time, in my opinion. We'll see you next time.